It's funny how the person you'd give your life for can be the one who ends up taking it apart, piece by piece. Dad, here's the deal. Either she leaves or you both leave. It's my Christmas, in my house, and she is not welcome. 8 o'clock at night, Christmas Eve. My son Greg, 32 years old, he said that to me, with a glass of expensive scotch in his hand, the kind that costs a good man's monthly salary. She was Laura, my wife of 5 years, a good, simple woman, a woman who takes care of me. And the house, well, the house he called his, was mine. I looked at the glass in his hand, at the linen suit he was wearing, at home, on Christmas Eve, and I glanced for a second at my own shoes, dirty with dust from the floor of my distributorship's warehouse, the same warehouse that paid for that suit, for that scotch, and for that apartment. But for you to understand how a father gets to this point, how you hear something like that from your own blood, you need to go back. You need patience. Life doesn't go sour overnight. My name is Mark, 58 years old. I'm from Pittsburgh, and I spent, more than 30 years with my hands black with grease. I own an auto parts distributorship, something I built from zero. And when I say zero, I mean zero. I remember 1987, me with an old rusty Chevy van that drank more oil than gas. Me and Claudia, my late wife, Greg's mom. We lived in a tiny 2-room apartment, and Greg was born there. I'd leave before dawn to buy parts in the industrial district and spend all day driving from shop to shop, selling. Many times lunch was a slice of pizza and a Coke. I slept 4 hours a night, but I built it. Today, thanks to God and a lot of sweat, life is stable. I'm not a millionaire, no, but I built my assets. Brick by brick. I'm a widower. Claudia passed away 15 years ago. Cancer. It was a blow. One of those that almost breaks you in half. Greg was 17, finishing high school. And I think, today I see it, I think that to make up for his mother's absence, I lost my touch. I spoiled him. I promised myself he wouldn't go through the hardships I went through, and he didn't, ever. I paid for the best business school, an expensive private university here in Pittsburgh, one of those where the name carries more weight than the diploma. I gave him an imported car, an Audi A3, when he graduated. He never knew what it was to take a crowded bus at 6 in the morning. Then, about 5 years ago, 2 things happened almost at the same time. I met Laura. I had been alone for 10 years. It was at a community center dance. Seems silly, right? But I went to take my mother-in-law, and there she was, a nurse, down to earth, a good smile, a woman who looks you in the eye. Who cares? I got married again, and around that same time, Greg came to me with this talk of entrepreneurship. He was always smart, quick with numbers. I can't deny that. He came with this pitch about a logistics startup, a digital platform to optimize shipping for trucking companies. The plan was good, but it needed money, a lot of money. He asked me for seed capital, $500,000. Look, $500,000, that was a good part of what I had saved my entire life. It was my security, but it was my son. I believed in him. I wrote the check, but I'm old school. I learned the hard way that there's no free money, not even for your kid. I learned because Claudia and I, way back at the beginning, we lost a little house we had bought because of missing paperwork, for trusting someone's word. The pain of that, seeing my wife crying on the sidewalk, I never forgot it. So I asked Greg to sign a loan agreement, a simple promissory note, with market interest rates all proper on paper. I didn't do it out of malice. I did it out of prudence. He laughed. He slapped me on the back, a hard slap. Sure, Dad, bureaucracy, old school. He signed it without even reading. He thought it was pro forma, just an old man's thing. I took that contract, went to a notary the next day, had it notarized, and put it in a folder. I also joined as a minority partner in the company with 20% equity, just to keep an eye on things. And that was it. That was exactly when I started to lose my son. The startup worked. It worked very well. In 3 years, Greg got rich. And Greg Rich was a complete stranger. Greg Rich, he changed. The first sign, the clearest, was Laura. He never accepted her. From the day I married her, he treated her with a veiled contempt that cuts deeper than a knife. The first time I introduced them, a Sunday lunch at our place. Laura made a big lasagna. Greg showed up with Patricia, the girlfriend who became his wife. Patricia didn't even make eye contact with Laura. Greg gave a dry hello. At the table, he only talked about valuation, angel investors, New York. And Laura, being simple, asked about his work. He answered like he was talking to a child. I heard him whispering to a cousin at a family barbecue a while later. Gold digger, I'm sure of it. I confronted him, in the corner. Greg, what's this talk? And he, oh Dad, come on. You're a widower with money, and this woman just appears. Wake up. Gold digger? Laura is a head nurse, works more than both of us combined, has her own life. But to Greg, if you weren't a millionaire, you were a gold digger. Then, the phone calls disappeared. It was just voice messages. You know? Audio texts. Dad, I'm on a call. Send audio. Dad, in a meeting. I'll check it later. Dad, boarding. Send a text. I'd go to his company. That new headquarters. All glass, over in Shadyside. A luxury I can't even describe. And the new employees. The 20-year-old kids in colorful sneakers. They'd look me up and down. With my work boots, my polo shirt, like I was a salesman, some random vendor trying to collect a bill. Greg would receive me in his office, huge, overlooking the whole city, and wouldn't even get out of his chair. Talk fast, Dad. I'm closing a funding round. He changed his friends, changed the way he talked, and the worst part, what hurt the most, he started to be ashamed of me, ashamed of the father who paid for all of it. Look, this story is hard to tell. It's the kind of thing you keep bottled up, that you chew on, that costs you sleep. But I decided to open up here on the channel. I really appreciate the space, truly, because sometimes you need to hear someone else's story to understand your own life. And if you're going through something similar, or know someone who is, if you're a father, if you're a son, stay with me. You're not alone. And then things got worse, escalating, slowly, but without pausing. There are things you try not to see, right? You cover them up. It's a phase. He's stressed. It's the success. It went to his head, but he'll come back. There was my 58th birthday, about 8 months ago. Laura, poor thing, always trying to please, organized a simple dinner at our house. Pot roast and cornbread, stuff he liked when he was a kid. I invited Greg and Patricia. He confirmed at the last minute. Okay, Dad, but we can't stay long. They arrived an hour and a half late. Dinner was at 8. They showed up at 9:30. Everyone had already eaten. Laura kept their food in the oven, warm. Greg didn't even hug me. He just held out a box. Happy birthday, Dad. It was a bottle of wine. Expensive, for sure. It had a label I couldn't even read, but he dropped it on the table and went straight to his phone. Just handling a problem here. Laura tried to make conversation with Patricia about her work, about their new house, and she just answered, right, wow. With a little smirk, looking at the light fixture in my living room like it was an absurdity. Those were the longest 40 minutes of my life. They ate quickly, the plate Laura spent the afternoon making, and Greg stood up, wiped his mouth on the napkin. Well, Dad, thanks. We have another engagement. Another engagement? At 9:30 at night? On my birthday? I didn't say anything. I just froze. I just watched. Laura walked them to the door, always polite. I heard Patricia say quietly in the building hallway, thinking I wouldn't hear, God, Greg, this neighborhood is so depressing. And that smell of, I don't know, food. I've lived in the same house for 20 years, a good, comfortable house, a family neighborhood. But it wasn't Shadyside, you see. It didn't have marble in the lobby. That wasn't the worst part. That was contempt. The worst part was the humiliation. There was a family event. A cousin of mine who lives in Altoona, celebrating his silver wedding anniversary, rented a cabin, the whole family, those simple folks, my people. I insisted that Greg go. Make an effort, son. Uncle Al carried you on his shoulders. He went, reluctantly. Him and Patricia. They arrived in the middle of the afternoon, Greg again with that air of superiority. And then at the barbecue, Uncle Al, all proud, went to introduce him to a friend. This here is Greg, Mark's son. He's rich, works with computers. Greg gave a little laugh and said, loudly for everyone to hear, not exactly computers, Uncle. It's a SaaS logistics platform, but it's complicated. My dad, for example. And then he looked at me. I was holding a beer, talking with my brothers. My dad works with grease, an analog business. I work with data. It's the future, the way he said it. Grease, with disgust. As if the money that stained my hands for 30 years wasn't the same money that wiped his butt and paid for his data college. My brothers felt awkward. Uncle Al didn't get it. I swallowed hard. The beer went down bitter. Patricia was smiling next to him, as if he'd said the most intelligent thing in the world. I walked away, went for a walk. I heard my younger brother coming up behind me. Mark, don't mind him. The kid he's starstruck. Starstruck, good word. And then came the worst one. The blow that made me wake up. The distributorship hit a rough patch, normal business stuff. A big client went bankrupt, left me with a bounced check for $80,000, messed up my cash flow. A 15-20 day thing. I was going to the bank, I was going to solve it, but I thought, I'll talk to Greg. He's flying high, his company is worth millions. He can advance me a part of that loan, or just lend it to me as a father and son. I swallowed my pride, picked up the phone, ashamed. Son, can you talk? It's quick. He sighed. I could hear the keyboard clacking. Dad, I'm in the middle of an important meeting. Is it urgent? I stammered. Look, son, it's just a problem happened here at the warehouse. Joe's garage went under, left me holding the bag. I need some breathing room in the cash flow. About 50 grand. I'll pay you back in 30 days. There was a silence, a cold silence, and then he spoke. The voice, it wasn't my son's. It was a bank manager denying a loan. Dad, look, we've talked about this. You can't mix things. Business is business, family is family. My company can't expose itself like that, making a loan to a third party without collateral. I have partners now. I have a board. Check with the bank, your bank. They have credit lines for this. And he hung up on me. I stared at the dead phone for about 5 minutes. Check with the bank. The son I pulled up from zero, the one I put $500,000 in his hand, with no collateral other than his word, telling me to check with the bank for 50 grand. It wasn't anger. It was a coldness, an emptiness. It ended right there. Something broke, and it couldn't be fixed. And look what happened the following week. He gave an interview to a business magazine, a famous magazine, his picture, arms crossed, in his glass office. The headline was, "The Logistics Genius Who Made Himself, Self-Made Man." In the interview, he said he came from humble origins and built everything from scratch without help, just with an idea and a lot of determination. I read that. A friend of mine from the distributorship sent me the link. Mark, your son is famous. I read it. Without help. Where did I go wrong, right? But what happened next he didn't expect. And then came Christmas. Christmas Eve. A week after that interview. Greg invited us. We're having a dinner here at the house. Try not to be late. The tone, an order. Laura didn't even want to go. Mark, for God's sake. After everything? He doesn't like me. His wife hates me. Let's just stay here, the two of us. I insisted. He's my son, honey. It's Christmas. I'm stupid sometimes, stubborn. I still had, I don't know, hope. We went. His apartment in Shadyside, pure luxury. Looked like a magazine cover. A 10-foot Christmas tree, waiters serving champagne. There were about 30 people there, all his new friends. No one from our family, just me and Laura. No one who saw him grow up. No one who wiped his nose. We arrived. Greg barely greeted us. Hi, Dad. Hi, Laura. Make yourselves comfortable. And he disappeared. Patricia. Ah, Patricia. Laura had bought a gift. A simple gift. But from the heart. She spent weeks, hand-painting a set of porcelain dinner plates. Beautiful work. She wrapped it with a fancy bow. She was nervous. When she went to give it to Patricia, Merry Christmas, a little something from us, Patricia took the gift with her fingertips, like she was picking up something dirty, looked at the size, gave a forced smile. She didn't open it. She did not open it. And she put it down, dropped the gift on a side table behind a vase, like it was trash. Laura, she just deflated. I saw the color drain from her face. She squeezed my hand. We tried to sit. Nobody talked to us. I was the host's father, but I felt like a party crasher. A waiter came to offer a drink. Laura asked for a ginger ale. The waiter looked at her sideways. We only have champagne and whiskey, Mum. 2 hours of this. 2 hours of embarrassment. A buzzing in my head. Until Greg called me aside near the balcony. He had that glass of whiskey in his hand. His tone was cold, managerial. Dad, this is complicated. I asked, already knowing. What's complicated, Greg? He looked over at Laura, who was in the other corner, alone, pretending to look at her phone. Her. Patricia is uncomfortable. Her friends are finding it strange. The way she is. The gift. It doesn't fit the vibe, you understand? I felt the blood rise. Slowly. What do you mean? It doesn't fit, Greg. And then he dropped it. The sentence that started this story. The nail in the coffin. Dad, here's the deal. Either she leaves or you both leave. It's my Christmas in my house and she is not welcome. I looked deep into his eyes, searching for my son, the Greggy, the boy who slept in my jacket. But I didn't find him. I only saw a stranger, an arrogant manager, afraid of what his rich friends would think. Laura sensed the mood. She came closer. Her hand touched my arm. It was cold, trembling. She heard the last part. Her face, my God. I didn't yell. I didn't curse. I didn't make a scene. I just died inside. I nodded, slowly. I took Laura's hand. Let's go, honey. I stood up, walked across the entire room. 30 pairs of eyes following me. Total silence. The music stopped. You could hear the ice in someone's glass. When I opened the door, Greg still shouted for everyone to hear, "That's right, go with her, but don't say I didn't warn you later." The door shut. The elevator ride was silent. In the car, Laura cried quietly, looking out the window. "I'm sorry, Mark. It's my fault." I put my hand on her leg. "It's not your fault, it never was. I felt nothing. Numb. Do you know what went through my head? I remembered a night. Greg must have been about 8 years old. I had to close out the books at the warehouse. It was the end of the month. I had no one to leave him with. Claudia was working a night shift. I took him to the warehouse. It was cold. I put him to sleep on an old mattress in the office. I covered him with my jacket. We shared a container of rice and eggs, and I stayed there watching him sleep among the shelves of parts, and I promised, "You'll have everything I didn't, son. You'll never go through this." How does life turn out this way, right? I remembered the day Claudia died at the hospital. She was already weak. Her hand looked like paper. She held my hand and said, "Take care of our boy, Mark. Don't let him get lost. Promise?" I promised. I failed. I failed her. And then, the clearest memory came. The day of the loan. The day of the $500,000. Him in my office at the warehouse signing the loan agreement. His laugh. "Bureaucracy, Dad. What's this for? I'm your son." And me saying, "Greg, paper is paper. Friendship is friendship. Business is business. That's how the world works, even with family." He laughed. "You're my hero, Dad, thank you." And he signed without reading, thinking it was an old man's joke. It was that memory that woke me up. The contract. We got home. Laura went straight to the shower, devastated. I went to my office. I opened the safe, took out the folder. The loan agreement was there, signed, notarized, market interest, 5 years. And then I remembered something else. The Shadyside apartment. Greg had asked me to buy it at the time, as an investment. I bought it, and I let him live there. An informal loan, a property loan. But I never, ever transferred the property to his name. The deed was right there, in the same folder. In my name, Mark. He humiliated me in his house, which was mine. And the startup? I didn't just put in the $500K, I joined as a minority partner, 20% equity. He forgot about that too. He thought I was just the grease monkey dad. And on top of all that, I'm not the broke old man he painted me as to his friends. I worked for 30 years. I have my life. My distributorship turns a profit. A good profit. I have my investments. A separate savings account, one that nobody knew about. Not even Laura. Almost $800,000. My retirement. My peace of mind money. Greg, in his arrogance, thought the world revolved around his startup. He forgot who I was. He forgot that whoever pays the band calls the tune. And he had stopped paying. I slept badly. The 25th Christmas Day was the saddest day of my life. Me and Laura alone, eating the leftovers from the dinner she had prepared for his house. The phone didn't ring. Not one message. No, "I'm sorry." No, "Dad, come back." Nothing. On December 26th at 8 in the morning, I didn't go to the warehouse. I put on my best suit. The suit I married Laura in. I grabbed my folder. I went to Mr. Harrison's office, my lawyer for 20 years. "Good morning, counselor. Belated Merry Christmas." He picked up on my tone. "Good morning, Mark. Did something happen? You're serious?" I put the folder on his desk. It did. "Counselor, remember that loan agreement for Greg? From 5 years ago?" He remembered instantly. "Of course. 500,000. Why? I want to execute it." He took off his glasses. "Mark, execute? On Greg? Your son? That's $500,000 plus 5 years of interest and penalties. That's going to be heavy. It'll be over $1 million, I said, without blinking. "I know. Execute it. Today," he insisted. "Mark, think about it. He's your son." I replied, "I have, counselor. He's not anymore. I left there and called the real estate agency that manages my other properties. Good morning, Sonia. You know that apartment in Shadyside on such and such street? Yes, that's the one. The tenant, let's say the arrangement, is over. I want the property back. 30 days. Send the official notice immediately. Greg? He was at the beach. In Miami Beach. Just posted a photo. Him, Patricia, on a yacht toasting with champagne. The caption was, "Closing out the year with a bang, the life I prayed for." He didn't know it, but the clock had started ticking, and the key to that bang was in my hand. Greg only got back from Miami around January 5th, tanned, laughing, full of stories to tell his friends. The first warning was the process server at the front desk of his luxury building, the official notice, to vacate the apartment in 30 days. He called me, laughing. I could hear ice clinking in a glass. "Dad, what kind of joke is this? The agency sent a letter here. Are they crazy? Did Sonia lose her mind? Patricia is freaking out. Fix this." My voice was calm, cold. "It's not a joke, Greg. You have 30 days to hand over the keys. The property is mine. The arrangement is over." There was a silence, a long silence. "What do you mean? The property is yours. You gave me this apartment. It was my present for... I cut him off. "I never gave you the apartment. I never signed a deed. I lent it to you, just like the startup money. And by the way, Mr. Harrison has already filed to execute the debt." He screamed. "What debt? Are you crazy? What?" "That little piece of paper." I said, "That little piece of paper for $500,000, which is now worth $1.2 million with the adjustments. Have a good day, Greg." I hung up. He didn't get it. He thought it was a scare tactic. He thought the old grease monkey was bluffing. 2 days later, he got it. His company's main account, the one where the investor money landed, the working capital account, was frozen. The debt execution. Greg went to pay a supplier, and the bank manager called. "Mr. Marshall, your account is frozen by court order. Execution." The phone rang. It wasn't Greg the CEO anymore. It was Greg the desperate. "Dad, what did you do? You froze the account. I have payroll to run. I have investors. You're going to bankrupt me. I just listened. Are you insane? You're destroying your family. Because of that woman." When he mentioned Laura, I cut him off. "Greg, I am at my company, in my office. If you want to talk like an adult, come here. If you're going to scream, don't even leave your house." I hung up. His lawyer must have called him, because the tone changed. 10 minutes later, he called again, his voice trembling. Dad, for the love of God, for Mum's memory, take it back. We can talk. I apologize. We can work something out. For Mum's memory." He used his mother. I replied, "I honor your mother's memory every day, Greg, including when I gave you the money she helped me save. The time for talk is over." It passed on Christmas Eve. He tried again. "Dad, I'll pay you. Give me a year. Give me 6 months. I don't have that kind of cash right now. You know that. It's all invested." I said, "You're a businessman, Greg. Liquidate your assets. You have my 20% stake you can buy out. Or sell your car, sell your watches. Business is business. Isn't that what you taught me?" He hung up. And then he appealed to others. He sent people to talk to me. My brother-in-law, Claudia's brother. "Mark, what is this? For God's sake, ease up on the kid. He's your son," I replied. "Al, you weren't there. He's not a kid anymore." And he made his choice. Half an hour later, he screeched to a halt outside my warehouse, the same warehouse where he slept on the old mattress. He stormed into my office, the same office where he signed the contract, laughing. He wasn't in a linen suit. He was sweating, red-faced, his expensive shirt wrinkled. "You've ruined me. Are you crazy? Destroying your own son?" I was calm, sitting in my chair, the same chair for 20 years. I asked him to sit. He didn't. He slammed his fist on the desk. "Answer me." I stood up. I went to the file cabinet. "Greg, I gave you everything. College, a car, seed capital, an apartment to live in. I gave you respect. I gave you the benefit of the doubt, even when you humiliated me in front of the family. The only thing I asked you, the only thing, was to respect my wife. In your house." He screamed. The vein in his neck popped. "Not my house. I built that. I pay the $10,000 HOA fees. I decorated it." I opened the drawer, took out the deed to the apartment, the original. I put it on the desk, slid it toward him. "Read the owner's name, Greg." He looked at the paper. He didn't want to read it. His eyes darted around. This is a copy. I said, "It's the original. Go to the county clerk. The property is in my name. You are living in my house as a favor. You kicked me out of my own house." He turned white, pale, his legs buckled. He had to lean on the desk, but you said it was mine." I replied, "I said I would let you live there. I never said I gave it to you. I was waiting for you to be mature enough to deserve it. You proved you're not." He sat, finally, put his head in his hands. "What do I do now, Dad? You've destroyed me." I looked at him, and I didn't feel anger. I didn't feel pleasure, I felt pity and disgust. I didn't destroy you, Greg. You destroyed yourself the moment you spit on the plate you ate from, the moment you felt ashamed of the grease that paid for all of this, and the moment you humiliated my wife in front of me. I continued, you have 30 days to get out of the apartment, and you have 5 days to present a payment proposal for the debt or the execution proceeds, and the judge will auction off your shares in the company. He lifted his head, crying, Dad, don't do this. I turned my back. I looked out the window at the oil-stained pavement. This conversation is over, Greg. This is between you and Mr. Harrison now. Business is business. It was over. He had to sell his stake in the startup. Sell it in a hurry for any price to cover the hole and pay me the $1. $2 million. The company they said was worth $20 million. He sold his part for $3 million. Just to cover the debt and not get arrested for creditor fraud. He lost millions. Patricia, his wife, Patricia, when she saw that the Shadyside apartment was gone, that there was no more millionaire startup, that the Audi would have to be sold, she didn't even last a week. She filed for divorce. It seems the same level love couldn't withstand the drop in lifestyle. She took the jewelry, the car that was in her name, and disappeared. Didn't even look back. He had to leave Shadyside, of course. Today, I heard from a cousin that he's renting a 2-bedroom apartment in Millvale, a good neighborhood, a working man's neighborhood where I started. A friend of mine saw him last week, said he's thin, worn out, working a regular job, punching a clock at the irony, logistics company. And me? I continued my life. Actually, I changed it. I sold my distributorship last week. I'm tired of grease. I sold the business, I took the money, added it to my $800,000 reserve, added it to the $1.2 million that Greg paid me. I took Laura by the hand and we moved. We're in our little house in the Alleghenies near the river, fishing. Laura is happy, taking care of her garden. The other day she caught me smiling, just watching the river go by. I sleep well. I don't feel guilt. I feel a sadness, a deep sadness that I don't think will ever go away. I lost a son. I lost the boy I promised to take care of. But I couldn't lose myself. I couldn't let him destroy me and destroy Laura, who is a good woman, who didn't deserve any of this. I learned the hard way that money, you can make money. Respect. When it breaks, there's no fixing it. And boundaries. Boundaries are something you have to set. If you don't, life will, and it charges interest. Greg, he called last week. The number popped up on the screen. I heard from a cousin that he's in a tight spot, wanted to borrow money. I didn't answer. I let it ring until it stopped. Some doors, when they close, don't have a handle on the outside. Family to me is whoever sits with you through the hard times, not just whoever drinks your expensive whiskey at Christmas. And that was it. Thanks for listening this far. It's a long story, I know, but it needed to be told. Leave a comment. What would you have done in my place? Did I do the right thing? Did I go too far? Subscribe to the channel, because stories like this, about family, about real life, life is full of them. Take care.